Hey guys, it's your boy, and I just wanted to let you guys know that this video that you're about to watch, it's a little bit different from some of my other videos. It has a bit of a different editing style, and that's because this video was guest edited by Snap Production. So I just wanted to thank them for editing this video for me. I'll put a link in the description to their channel so you guys can check them out. Alright, so on to my review of The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Man, was that ever a movie. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Jared Poirier, and welcome to my movie review show where I talk about movies. Okay, so on last week's show, we did a review of Altered Carbon, but on today's show, we're reviewing The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Alright, so Killing of a Sacred Deer was directed by critically acclaimed director Yorgos Lanthimos, and it stars Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, along with Barry Keoghan, Rafi Cassidy, and Sunny Suljic. Alright, so the first thing that I want to talk about here is the acting. All of the acting in this movie is very strange. Most of the actors are very understated, and the whole thing has this like melancholy feel to it. I thought that Colin Farrell's acting actually really stood out. He gets the majority of the really emotional moments. We get to see him be very angry, but also very sad as well. There's a really emotional scene where he's just totally crying. I thought that Martin was a really good character as well. He's very strange and awkward, and I thought that his acting really set the mood for this whole movie. The next thing that I want to talk about here is the score. There is no real music in Killing of a Sacred Deer. Most of the score is just basically creepy noises. It really reminded me of that movie Under the Skin, starring Scarlett Johansson. And I don't think that this movie really required a lot of music. I actually found the score very effective. Alright, the next thing that I want to talk about here is the cinematography. And I actually thought that this movie had some of the most interesting cinematography that I've seen in a long time. There's a lot of scenes in this film of people just walking around in a hospital, but the way that it's shot makes it very intriguing. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about here are some of the themes covered by this film. And this is where this film really shines, because this movie explores some very interesting themes. And this is a very symbolic movie. If you try to take this movie literally, it's not really going to work for you. You have to realize that this is basically an allegory. And this film covers a lot of really deep subjects, such as justice, karma, marriage, family, life and death. And I really enjoyed the way that this movie covers these themes. It's not too on the nose. You actually have to think about it quite a bit after you watch the film in order to understand what the director is really getting at. Alright, the next thing that I want to talk about here is the story. And really with Killing of a Sacred Deer, the plot is pretty straightforward. There's a bit of a mystery, and it gets unraveled as the movie goes on. And although the plot is surprising enough that I couldn't exactly predict where the movie was going, there wasn't a whole lot of unnecessary twists. And that's not to say that there aren't any surprises. When you start to figure out where the movie is going, it's actually pretty shocking. So just so you guys know what you're walking into, I just want to describe the atmosphere in this movie. The Killing of a Sacred Deer is basically a horror movie, but not really in the traditional sense that you would think of a horror movie. There aren't a lot of jump scares, but there is a very creepy atmosphere that is created. I would basically describe this movie as a psychological horror, and this movie really leaves you with a feeling of dread and awkwardness that you don't get from many films. So I think that the most interesting thing about this film is trying to decode what it actually means. And after I watched this movie, I thought about this quite a lot, and I did a little bit of reading into what some other analysts have thought about the theme and message of this movie. This film is based off of an ancient Greek tragedy where a general has to choose between the fate of his country and killing his own daughter. And I've read a lot of people saying that this movie is basically an allegory for American history or capitalism or something like that. But those readings didn't really ring super true to me, although I do think that that type of thinking will get you pretty close to what this movie is actually about. And what really clued me in to the central message of this film, there's two lines in this movie. There's a scene where Colin Farrell's character says that a surgeon can never kill a patient. It's always the anesthesiologist.
A surgeon never kills a patient. An anesthesiologist can kill a patient, but a surgeon never can.
And there's another scene where the anesthesiologist says that he can never kill a patient, it's always the surgeon. So what I think this movie is really about is it's about karma and it's about morality. And I think it's really about how people always try to distance themselves from the immoral things that they participate in. And the fact that even though you talk yourself into believing that you're innocent, karma will come and bite you in the ass. And in this story, I believe that that's what the character Martin represents. He's basically the embodiment of the universal law of karma. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Hey, so we're doing the good YouTuber shout out, and today we're shouting out Larry with LC Screen Talk. This should be obvious by now, but Larry reviews movies on his channel, and I really enjoy the variety of reviews that this guy puts out. If there's a No movie or a Smurfs movie or something like that, most reviewers like me will skip those movies, but Larry goes and he suffers through those films and he puts out those reviews, and you gotta respect him for that. And other than that, Larry just has tons of great content on his channel, so I hope you guys check out LC Screen Talk, and I'll see you next time.